I'm curious, I want to get a temperature check of the room here. How many of you feel as if you are in a transition phase right now? Okay, look around. Just everyone take a look. Look around. So I've been nomadic fully for 7 years. I travel all over the world speaking, performing, leading events, and 90%, 90% of people raise their hands. They're in a transition phase right now. You see, we've just entered into the age of AI. Have you heard about it? Yeah? Some of you? Maybe? So we've entered into this age of AI, and for the very first time, maybe in human history, we now have this tool that gives us an opportunity or a trap to outsource our consciousness. Literally, our creativity, our very life force, we now have this opportunity to outsource it if we're not careful. And because of that, we are now in this point in time where we actually have to define, draw a line and define, what does it mean to be conscious? What does it mean to be human? And as we explore that, we are entering into this new chapter of human. Like it or not, we are there. And so, as we enter a new chapter, it's important to remember that our old selves can't survive in the new chapter. Right? Our old lives won't work in the new chapter. Our old voice won't be relevant in the new chapter. And so we are being asked to go through a death process. Anyone feel like they're dying in this transition phase that you're in? There's parts of us that need to die away, fall away, so that we can discover and find our voice. What is your unique voice? Now, how do you want to express that voice now? For more than a decade now, I have coached really high-performing individuals, professional athletes, professional actors, exited founders, CEOs, and most of them come to me in this phase of transition. Because it doesn't matter how successful you are, how many times you've been through it, a death process is hard. It's challenging. It's disorienting. It's confusing. But like it or not, we're in it collectively. And so the question is not actually, do I want to die? Do I want to be reborn? The question is, how do I die well? How do I go through this process in the most powerful possible way? And while there are a lot of elements to that, with the time I have today, I want to give you the 3 foundational keys that you need to be able to go through a death process well. Would you like to hear them? That actually didn't convince me. Would you like to hear them? Okay, sure. So the first key, and I want you to say it out loud, repeat it so it really lands in the body. The first key is vulnerability. What is it? Vulnerability. Vulnerability is the first key. Because vulnerability is allowing more of yourself to be seen. And when you allow more of yourself to be seen, that means there's more surface area that is able to be in connection. You see, vulnerability is the gateway to connection. And when I allow more of myself to be seen, there are more places that we can connect in. There's more places that life can connect in. There's more places that I can connect. But it also means there's more surface area of myself that can be rejected. There's more parts of myself that can be blamed, shamed, guilted. And so it's scary. So being vulnerable takes courage. And often I come across a lot of people who say, man, I wish I was as fearless as you. I'm not fearless at all. I'm courageous. Because you can't have courage if you don't feel fear. It's the very fact that you feel the fear and you still do it that makes you courageous. And because vulnerability is inherently scary, it takes courage. But once you have that, once you embody that courage and you move through the world vulnerably, it opens up the second key. Would you like to know what that is? Okay. I'm going to make you earn it. The second key, repeat it after me, curiosity. One more time. What is it? Curiosity. Once you're vulnerable with yourself, you start to hear the whispers that your soul has been leaving you on this scavenger hunt that is life. You see, curiosity is the precursor to love. It's that thing that makes you go, what is it about that person? I'm curious. Next thing you know is love. What is it about that place? I'm really curious about that place. And so I'm just going to go take a 2-week trip over there. And then it's Bali and you never leave. You guys know what I'm talking about. The number of people who are like, yeah, I was supposed to be here for 2 weeks and it's been 20 years. But it's curiosity and the willingness to follow that curiosity that leads us to the things that we love. And if I was God and I was designing something and I said, you know what, I need to make sure that Adam is in the right place at the right time, then I need to make sure that Adam loves personal development. He loves learning and growing in that way. I need to make sure he loves that so that he goes to that personal development conference. And I need to make sure that Adam really loves this particular type of music. So when that beat drops, he gets out and he has to dance. He just absolutely has to. It's his favorite song. And then I got to make sure that Adam's a phenomenal dancer so he catches the eye of that woman and he bumps into her and his life is changed forever. Curiosity is how your soul is leading you on this scavenger hunt that is life. But if we're not willing to be vulnerable, we don't hear the whispers. Make sense? Following me? So once we have done that, we've embraced our vulnerability with ourselves first and foremost. We've embraced those things that we love. We're willing to courageously follow our curiosity. We're now ready for that third key element. Would you like to know what it is? Okay. Repeat it after me. The third key element to dying well is faith. One more time. What is it? Faith. Faith, the belief in something you cannot see or prove. The knowing that deep in your soul, the knowing that you are held. It is scary to watch someone try and die without faith. But when you have faith, you know that if you take that leap of faith, it might feel like you're falling, but you're actually flying. And even if you forget how to open up your wings, you know that there's a net to catch you. It's that knowing that the universe does not give you anything that you cannot handle. And so that death process that you're going through, those difficulties, those breakups, those traumas, those wounds, they are all there to serve you as an initiation into the very life you have been praying for. But it requires that faith to take action in the direction of that soul's calling. That is why it's called an act of faith. And it's always scary because what we want lies on the other side of our comfort zone. So we will go through that discomfort, and it is scary because we can't see where we're going, but we can see where we've been. So we're very aware of what we're leaving behind. But what we're moving towards is faith, moving with that faith. And so it is in these spaces, like the I Am Creation Summit, where you have an opportunity to lean in and amplify as an intentional ceremony this process of transition, this death process. You can use these few days as a cocoon. Because what I have learned in my own life and with every single person that I have worked with is that when you walk with vulnerability, when you lead with curiosity, and you have faith that yes, you will dissolve, you will cry, scream, break, but you will always be reborn. And we are never reborn as less. Has anyone ever been reborn as less? You can look at the evidence from your own life. Every single time that you've allowed a part of yourself to fall away, you have been reborn as more. And because our outer reality must reflect our inner state, your life must become more. More joy, more pleasure, more fun, more abundance. And as we continue to expand our capacity to receive more, we expand our capacity to also give more. And that is how we find our voice. That is how you identify your message. Because your old message is not relevant to the new chapter. It is up to you to go through the death process and discover who you become through that initiation so that you can stand on your metaphorical or literal stage and shout it from the rooftops and remind us why, how to be human, to love so deeply, to help us remember why we're here. And this event, this opportunity that you have is your chance to be vulnerable with yourself. When you hear these talks, really take it in. Take a moment to sit and reflect. Be vulnerable with yourself. Where am I out of alignment? Where am I playing small? Be vulnerable with others. Share your dreams. Find your collaborators. Meet your love on the dance floor. Be curious. Try that weird food thing that's over there. Go and talk to the person you wouldn't normally talk to, but there's just something about them. And allow it all to strengthen your faith. Because now more than ever on this planet, we need faith.